So in May 2022, Young Thug and a little more than 24 alleged gang members were indicted, and that really set the tone for this case because it's been nothing short of expansive. I mean, with a 65-count indictment, a few plea deals and severances, which, side note, a severance is a request to have separate jury trials on different charges. There's a lot going on here. And that's just what's happening inside the courtroom. This trial has sparked conversations about using rap lyrics in court, RICO charges, and even gun violence. So let's get to the bottom of all of it. My name is Joseph, and this is the Atlanta Journal-Constitution in context. With so much swirling around this case, I wanted to get a better sense of what's actually happening, and I could think of no two better people to ask than Joseph Papp and Shadi Absuaid. These are two of our reporters who are in the courtroom every day, poring over documents, listening to testimony, and keeping the public informed. So first, I had to ask them a question I'm sure they've heard no less than 1 million times. What is Young Thug in court for?
So Young Thug is being accused of being the co-founder of an alleged gang, Young Slime Life. Other co-founders include Walter Murphy and Latavius Stevens. They already took plea deals. But defense attorneys are arguing that it's not a gang, it's a record label with Young Stoner Life. But prosecutors keep saying that Young Thug started this alleged gang in 2012, late 2012, in the Cleveland Avenue area. And they're saying he uses music and social media to make it well known. And some of his charges include conspiracy to violate the state's RICO Act, participation in street gang activity, and having possession of a machine gun.
He's got drug and weapons charges stemming from his arrest.
Yeah, so that's basically what Young Thug is accused of being a leader of an alleged gang.
So not only is Young Thug fighting charges related to weapons and drugs, the state has accused him of founding and running a criminal enterprise. Now, the state of Georgia has a very interesting past with racketeering, or RICO, and if you want to learn more about that, we did a full video on it. It'll be linked down below. Okay, back to Young Thug. In order to have a gang, like the prosecution says, there must be gang members. I asked Shadi how many people the state is indicting and what some of their charges look like.
Well, initially there were 28 defendants back in May of 2022 when this was indicted. There were 28 defendants. There have been a series of plea agreements, plea deals, including, for fellow rapper Gunna and other severances. So now we're down to 14, Young Thug and 13 others ahead of the start of the trial.
Now, Shadi mentioned something that I do want to talk a bit more about, and that's plea deals. I think everyone watching this video knows how taking a plea deal or working with law enforcement is seen in some areas of hip-hop. I mean, a fan even threw cheese on Gunna's car because they thought he was a rat. So I wanted some more information first on Gunna's agreement with the court and then on plea deals with this case more broadly.
He had to essentially acknowledge that YSL, Young Slime Life, is in fact a criminal street gang. The prosecutor said, "Is it a gang?" And he said, yes. In the eyes of many, that makes him a rat or a snitch. But it got him a good deal. It got him out of this case, out of this trial. And he got a suspended probation sentence. So he's essentially free after agreeing to this plea agreement.
Like I said at the very top of this video, more than one person took a plea deal. For example,
I feel like the plea deal that really showed how prosecutors are going to prosecute this case is the Antonio Sledge plea deal. And now he entered his plea deal on December 28th. He pled guilty to conspiracy to violate the state's RICO Act and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. And he was sentenced to 15 years to serve on probation. So I feel, and as part of the plea deal, you have to make a series of acknowledgments like Gunna did in terms of YSL is a gang. So during his plea deal, he made a series of acknowledgments, including that he's being a member, Antonio Sledge, being a member since 2012 of YSL, and he was told members of YSL met at McDonald's on Cleveland Avenue shortly after to discuss the murder of Donovan Thomas, who is believed to have been an associate of a rival gang on January 10th, 2015. And investigators believe that this murder might have resulted in years-long feuds between YSL and rival gangs. And Sledge actually acknowledged that he personally knows one or more YSL associates killed Thomas, and he also acknowledged that he and other YSL defendants, associates, met up at Young Thug's home shortly after the murder, and Young Thug allegedly gave them money to lay low. So just hearing those plea deals and just hearing the different acknowledgement that each of them have to make, and some of them will be called upon to testify in court, and some of them do have the chance to plead the Fifth Amendment, but some others don't. So it will be interesting to see how prosecutors handle that and whether or not they're going to call them.
Now, obviously, one of the reasons this case is getting so much attention is because Young Thug is a chart-topping, Grammy Award-winning rapper, singer, songwriter. And a huge aspect of this case is actually the content of those songs. Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis says, quote, "I think if you decide to admit your crimes over a beat, I'm going to use it." One example the prosecution cites is when Young Thug rapped, "I never killed anybody, but I got something to do with that body," tying that lyric to a 2015 incident where a car Young Thug is accused of renting was used in a fatal shooting of an alleged rival gang member. Whereas the defense says the government prosecuting lyrics is an infringement on Young Thug's First Amendment right. Now, I think it's important to note that lyrics are not the only evidence the prosecution has in this case. Like Shadi says,
but prosecutors have a list of 350 or more potential witnesses. So many think that lyrics aside, they have plenty of evidence, or they think they have enough evidence to pursue these charges.
Which makes sense. It would be very out of the ordinary for a team of prosecutors to think they can convince a jury of such huge charges related to guns, murder, and drugs with lyrics alone. Okay, so on the topic of juries, trying to select jurors for this case has been proven difficult for both sides, as Joseph explains.
So it all started in the first week of January, actually in November, at the end of November, because they sent the jury summons at the end of November. Around 600 jurors were summoned to come to court the first week of January, have to divide it into groups, 3 groups of 200, and then each group had to listen to a 4-hour reading of the indictment through a video. And then after reading that indictment, they had to come back and fill out a 250-question questionnaire and then be heard finally for hardships. So most of this month has been just jurors coming up to court and explaining their hardships. And that's basically been every day in court for the past 3 to 4 weeks.
Which made me ask Shadi when he thinks this court case will actually begin.
Honestly, I'd be stunned if they got this jury chosen by Easter, the way it's going. And especially if you have 14 defendants being tried simultaneously. So each of their attorneys has the right to question these jurors about their beliefs on hip hop, on race, on rap music generally, on gangs. That's going to take a long time. And, obviously they want a jury of these guys' peers, but, if you can only find people who are retired, independently wealthy, or on some kind of government assistance, is that truly a jury of their peers? And many would say no.
And with that, we have an overview of the Young Thug court case. We got an understanding of what some of the charges are, some of the information around plea deals, the use of lyrics in court, and why this case is taking so long to begin. If you would like to know anything else or just want regular updates, let me know in that comment section down below. Also, I want to thank Shadi and Joseph for making the time to have this conversation. If you're interested in this case even a little bit, I highly recommend following them on Twitter. Their accounts will be linked down below. But hey, while you're down there leaving that carefully worded comment, go ahead and press that subscribe button so you never miss a video. Press the like button if you like this. Share this video with someone who needs to know the information and the context around this case. But as always, my name is Joseph, and this is the Atlanta Journal-Constitution in context.